onto Aurora. Looked like they were actually kind of taking this fight to Aurora for a long time, it looked like in the feed. Splitting them apart, and now as Aurora was able to try to get at least one up from Barometer.
Nice. Now you might be thinking it's just BM, but you do have to remember you get extra Evo from a finisher. So if you get them isolated like that, it is the right play, really. Just chuck down a mobile shield. You get yourself a little bit extra towards that purple. Still, Shopify Rebellion finding themselves near other teams. Go Next is next on their list this time.
Put them down if they can. You see the charge rifle. Still being a problem in the feed. Go Next. The edge of that zone. Feeling that pressure, maybe force have to go outside of zone by cliffside. And if they do wrap around, they don't have the, oh, I was gonna say, if they don't have an access to the Trident, they do have an access to the Trident, so they are able to hop right back into that Trident and go right around through the other side of that zone where Gaming Gladiators and TSM are actually gonna be waiting for them over by Stormcatcher with this nice overhead on where this zone is gonna be pulling. We know it's gonna be on the outskirts of the water here. This is, I feel like, a zone that I have seen during Split 1 Pro League Complexity excel in before. We know that Monsoon has no issue when it comes to getting these sniper knocks.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the kind of thing you want to be thinking about. Sniper rifles, very, very good in that area because there is so much flat terrain. Like, you don't even have to really worry about someone, you know, on the undulating plains. You just, it's flat ground, and you'll be able to really get the sniper out and make good use of it, especially because Complexity have managed to get in there early and solidify a solid position in the zone. VKG take up a very north spot now as we see those, you know, late console scanning, bulk skydiving teams.
Mouthful.
Any adjectives you want to add in there?
Fast. Fast.
Here's another one.
The way that they've been able to now fly up to the heavens, Fnatic take the skyward dive, make their next move. They got the information off the survey beacon in Cascade. They see where everybody has collapsed on one another over by the water side, but they're playing objective, right? They're gonna go from survey beacon to survey beacon. They're gonna boost up those Evo shields, as you can see here. And they know where everybody's gonna be rotating from, so they know they have time.
Yeah, and they've got the Valk, right? So that means, yeah, as you said, they'll grab the Evo Harvester near the lift. Then they can go up further towards wall and potentially get the scan because they've got the Valkyrie. There they probably will meet TSM and Shopify Rebellion, though. And that'll be, could be, a very interesting set of fights. Nizel trying to get out of dodge here. Is being chased by Envy, but it's the last one.
That's bittersweet, though. Gotta look at your old teammate and his new team sometimes, even though you're forced to play this out as a solo. Envy and T-Law having that fight with Envy.
Oh, wow.
Losing out.
So VKG, even though they had that spot near the rocks, they pulled even further north here. And they're potentially looking at the other teams like Shopify Rebellion, who are currently trying to track down Nizel. And yeah, there he's gone, eliminated an 18th spot here. Question is, will Shopify Rebellion go down towards the wall? Or will they go all the way north past the giant zip and go towards VK Gaming?
I feel like they would probably take the option to go through VK Gaming. It's nice to assume at this point there is absolutely a squad that's already set up from inside the wall.
No, not again.
I can't believe we saw that earlier on. But, you know, something that we have seen a lot in the past with these rogue Tridents.
Who's playing Octane? Where'd that jump pad come from?
I had somebody say to me that they thought that there was a horizon in the lobby. I'm like, nope, no horizon. That's just a gravity cannon on a slope. Some wonky interactions sometimes here. Knocked him, having red Evos off to the side of Alliance.
Aurora.
Oh, they need that loot.
17th. It's been a slow day for them.
Alliance are forced to call in that catwall that you saw earlier on because when they saw that team fall off the Trident, they need that loot desperately. So they're going to be able to now extend, try to get whatever they need, while Noctem aren't going to move from their position. While Shopify Rebellion do end up rotating onto VKG off to that north side by the big zip.
Yes. Correctly predicted. by Vicky Kitty there. She's in the mind of MT.
You had called it out for the pathing first, Genome.
All right.
IGL Genome.
We'll call it even. A little bit of info here with the next zone coming in. Okay.
Oh!
It's directly on top of the oranges. Love this. Gonna be so fun. I mean, think about, we are going to have teams throwing down all their walls within the oranges. You're going to have one on each level. You'll have people sitting underneath. You'll have people trying to set up Newcastle walls on top. Interestingly, quite a bit of that zone is still in on the high ground. That means teams who come up through the wall will be very advantaged. LG currently hold that position, but teams like GG, TSM, and Fnatic potentially could come in from the back.
It'd take a lot, though, with how secure that bunker is from wall. Being on that high ground where that gravity cannon is, but you also can't ignore what Hail Mary plays could be done off that gravity cannon. If teams are willing to take the chance, if they feel like they have no other option, not them were the ones settled.
I mean, sometimes you go back and forth a little bit just to grab like a placement point or two, right?
Yeah. I mean, in Noctum's case, kind of desperately need it in the position that they're in. With Complexity right behind them, too. This zone, though, for the teams that have already secured those small DBZ buildings are thriving. Not going to feel the pressure that a lot of the teams that have little to no cover, that don't have the rocks, that are going to be out in the open, forced to use the dome, then have to get pelted by these bombardments, what they're going to be forced to do when that next zone pulls, and they see where that zone's pulling.
Falcons were close to having a chance last game. Ooh, TSM going down to GG. Z-o-o holding that bubble in reserve. No one's behind the rock. Okay, VP had this position earlier, but with the Trident in the way, Falcons a little more safe in the same spot.
36 engaging here. Slow fight. Nobody ahead of him here. Squad right above their heads. While sharing this, you know that Falcons are within the vicinity. We just saw them right in on the Trident, place their Trident by the rocks. LG is a team that I'm worried about, but they don't really have line of sight. They would have to drop down at that point through that zip. So they're just going to be sitting pretty on top of that bunker.
Which is great, right? I can't see you, you can't see me. No damage being taken at that point. It's a very long zip. Can't really imagine anyone will really want to take it. No. Okay, they're just going for the bin reset. Had a horrible thought in my head there for a second. The intrusive thoughts are gone. It's a smart play by Team Falcons, just upgrading their attachments a little bit there. Flatline only for Imperial Hal. So it's a little bit harder for him to get to the red, but with only 1,000 left, it is actually doable.
Back to their force here. Not a bad position unless LG just drop in. I'm not expecting that to happen. They needed some of that extra loot. And go next on the other side, Fnatic playing off the low ground bunker. Everybody here seeing that the circle has completely shifted over by those buildings are forcing these teams to make their next move. Noctum getting eliminated. 13 squads still left.
One by one, we take out the squads not on match point. All 6 still remain. They've worked too hard to give it up this early. Shopify the first one to go down in our last game. The rest managing to find reasonable spots until the game was taken out of their hands.
Oh, they're forced to go inside this building. They try to desperately make a play here, but go next. Get hit and stopped by EXO. Haraka being the last one alive. Popping the shield back from right underneath this building. Not getting shot up for now. Alliance are looking at them, and now over by the corner. It was just a matter of time. They call him out, and Alliance move up from the Trident. Popping in with the dome, and Fnatic with a Hail Mary skyward dive. See who's right underneath them. Where can they find themselves? They know there's a squad underneath this too with the Valkyrie that they have.
Love this. They take the egg that's furthest towards the edge. That means they can get a nice castle wall on the top. and potentially play the top. We told you, there's going to be teams on all sides of the levels. Alliance, our first place team, has just been eliminated.
Match point squad out from this lobby. Another one to meet them back in the lobby. Alliance and Complexity out, and Fnatic get the knock for knock here after losing out on Yuka.
Fnatic, they're not content with playing the top. They actually go in and try and take this away from Furia. But so much damage comes from the outside. In a matter of moments, we are left with only Shopify Rebellion and Falcons.
Just when you blink, you miss it. So many of our squads that were at match point have taken an exit from the lobby. Shopify Rebellion, Team Falcons here in prime position.
Team Falcons heads on a swivel. They know someone's up there. They know someone is lurking and waiting. Constant 180s. Thank God they've got an M&K player on the team because he needs to be flicking back and forth, making sure as soon as someone comes down that zip, they get deleted. And as we have a look at Shopify Rebellion here, you see the laser on the Sheila from Waltzy pointed directly at that entrance.
Just in case. With that placement too, LG, who have secured that high ground bunker, look at where they're situated, have found themselves at match point. Welcome to the 50-point club. They don't have a Valk, and they don't need it because they have an evac.
Oh, thank God that got patched. At one point, you couldn't place that evac. You've got to remember. They fixed it now. It is a possibility again. You don't want to take the gravity candle. That'll shoot you way out into the zone. So LG, knowing what's waiting below them, that it's still an option. They can bubble below. But if they evac over the top, all of a sudden, Falcons would have half the damn zone to themselves again.
And there are 4 teams right now inside of this egg building with Shopify Rebellion. VKG, VP, Enterforce 36, all together, clustered up in one building, while Fury and Team Burger are trying to find angles over to the south side. Uncontested is Falcons, but only for now, until LG plans their next move.
Okay, zone revealed to all teams now. LG above. Falcons with a big rock to help them save those abilities. Meanwhile, we've got Furia and Burger going at it in the South Orange. The other 4 teams sit by themselves at the North Orange. Furia get the South Orange to themselves.
Burger getting eliminated. This leaves 7 squads. You can see Walty pointing at that entrance still, by the way. Shopify Rebellion get the res, but the Renock comes in, losing out on Koipo and MT. Only Zainu alive for Shopify Rebellion. If they go down right now, that only leaves Falcons as the only match point team alive in this lobby.
They try and move too early. I mean, I don't know how they could have lived there. As soon as they make that move, there are 4 other teams at the orange staring straight at them, and Falcons only have to peek around. They can fire shotgun shots at their heads. LG, we saw before, they were debating, is it the evac play, is it the drop play? As the zone closes in, it's the drop play.
Going right down behind Team Falcons. Shopify Rebellion get eliminated. It's only Falcons who are left, and LG drop down from the sky. Falcons look back, but look at the amount of bombardment of nades hurtled in their direction.
They've been waiting for this the whole time. They bubble last. That means LG will be exposed first.
Fate is calling. Falcons looking to get this dub. They have the advantage. The bombardment coming in next. They try to harass him with the Sheila. They find themselves pinched. LG also getting back from the back out. Falcons lose out on Waltzy. This is still doable. 0. 1 shot. Falcons are about to go down. LG get eliminated. Can he get the reset?
No! Goes down! We go to 9!
We get more Apex! For match point finals, we're going on to match number 9!
BKG go up against Furia. Both of them have just eclipsed 50 points. They move up and give themselves a chance at match point next time. E36 won't be able to get there, but maybe they can give themselves a bit of a boost here.
Better momentum here if they can. E36 slide down with the massive in hand. A-Bot with them, right by here with the G7. And E36 bring up the crowd with the pop-up. They get the dub. And we get more Apex Legends. The curse continues, Dino. But we get more Apex. We get match number 9.
Oh, I'm just glad we're getting some APAC North wins here. With the biggest crowd in Apex history, we want them to be enjoying themselves. And as Fnatic don't really add much to their tally there, Vicky, but it doesn't matter. They're already across the line, the magic number, 50 points. There's still a chance that they can take it out with the phenomenal stuff we've seen from them so far. But Enterforce, remember I said at the start, the best they've done before is 18th. And that's where they were sitting before this game, by the way. With a dub, that helps them move up to 14th overall, 33 points.
Someone check on Fury, by the way. 16 kills.
Oh.
Actual huge, elevating themselves to match point. We welcome more to the club.
It's almost half the lobby now.
9 teams at match point after 8 games.
This club is getting a lot less exclusive at this point.
Revoke my own membership here. Gotta go somewhere else. It's getting a little too crowded. And you know what's coming up next? The Grim Reaper, Onset and Gaskin will be taking on the mic. This is when teams start to sweat as they walk up to the platform with 9 squads at match point for a Year 4 championship. Time is of the essence for the teams that try to greet the other squads that they know may be within the area, that may be at match point, as we take a look at our heavy hitters. Madden is popping off. Oh, Vaxlon too. Barrier really showing up. Zach Mazer with 8 revives, by the way. Team Burger, pricey with the 2.3k damage. But this is how you keep ramping. This is what match point finals is all about. The only type of format to ever exist. And we have it here in Apex Legends. I'm ready for some more Apex. I'm ready for game number 9.
Oh man, I don't know if the players are. There's so many of them were really hoping it would end there. 6 teams. Now they've got another 3 joining them.
I'm like the Tooth Fairy, letting you guys know that you're always gonna get some more Apex under your pillows. Don't go anywhere. We got more ALGS here for the championship on the other side of this break. Welcome on Sid and Gaskin.
너 빼. 발길이. 우주 나온다. 집중. 천천히 해. 끝났다. 라스 한 번 돼. 육개고. 준영 동대. 준영. 세련판. 야, 지금 할래. 발길이 90. 발길이 100. 지분이. 육개필. 집중.
Just when you thought you'd seen it all, we're back here on match point with more surprises. It just keeps going. Just when you think we're going to have a champion, someone else steps up, and this time around, it was E36. What an end game. What a moment. So many teams so close, but yet not able to close out.
You could barely hear yourself think in this arena when that match was won by E36. Arguably even louder when Team Falcons died and everyone knew they were going to witness yet another game here in Sapporo, Japan. There was a moment when there was 5 squads still left on match point, and I was like, okay, it definitely ends here. Then suddenly 1, 2, 3, just like that, all eliminated at the same time. You couldn't write it any better.
I mean, I've still got a feeling there's going to be quite the surprise coming around the corner. It just doesn't. It feels like one of those days where we are going to be here a long time. And I was talking to a couple of people in the green room. It was like, man, you know, every LAN is just like, this is the best LAN, this is the craziest gameplay. And I don't know how. It just every single time, like every event I turn up, I was like, there's no way that something could happen. No way match point finals could be as exhilarating, as exciting as it was last time. Here we are. What else do you want from me?
Exhibit A, presented right in front of you. Well, it doesn't matter what map we seem to find ourselves on. The match point teams just can't quite get over the finish line. But we do move towards World's Edge. And now that is one of the best maps for a lot of these squads. As you can see on the stage, all of those teams that are on match point. 9 squads find themselves with a chance to be the winners here in Japan and a chance to cement themselves in history and lift that trophy.
Let me tell you who those 9 squads are. Alliance, Team Falcon, Shopify Rebellion, Complexity, Furia, Fnatic have now hit match point. Go Next Esports, match point. VK Gaming, and out of absolutely nowhere, Luminosity Gaming. They are your 9 squads who, if you see them with their name above the Champions banner in this next game, will call themselves the ALGS Championship Champions.
Interestingly, the teams that have the most wins on World's Edge in this lobby are not on match point. You have the likes of Envy and Aurora, who could very much keep this going, because World's Edge is such a difficult map to navigate. When we have this many teams on match point, everyone is going to be playing that little bit tighter, trying to play zone, trying to get in a position to win the championship. But for those teams who are still trying to find points, they can take advantage of that.
It's interesting that you talk about it, because now we see the mind games of teams on how they're going to approach it, because it's not just the match point teams now who are thinking, we just need to win. We just need to be in that zone. We need to be the ones with ourselves alive at the last moment. It's also like, how do you get points at this point? It's absolutely crazy. And speaking of crazy, this crowd is pretty crazy. And Lacey's up there with them now. What you got for us, Lace?
Yes, I am here with the original Apex Queens and Arthur. But we have been watching these lovely ladies throughout Apex, and they're here in the crowd with us. We have Clara, AC, and Ambush. Now, Clara, obviously you've been to plenty of events. This has got to be your favorite one so far, right?
Times a million. This is the most incredible event that we have had so far, and I hope that every LAN is in Japan so far, you know?
I absolutely agree, or maybe Korea or something too. Let's have a good time here. Now, AC, it's so good to see you again. What team are we rooting for today?
Liquid, of course.
And I'm going to guess that Ambush is probably in that same path as well, but it's so nice to have you here. What has been your favorite part about the event?
Honestly, just the people, everything. Like, I've never seen a crowd like this in my entire life, and I've been to almost all of them. Like, this is another level. It's crazy.
Yeah, we have over 13,000 people here now. Arthur, do you even watch Apex?
I'm watching right now, and I'm having a great time.
Wonderful. We've just encouraged basically a new Apex fan. But guys, I'm so glad to have you guys here. Thank you so much. And back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Lace. And I will say that they seem well hydrated. I saw a stack of, I think it was 5 cups. It's good to be hydrated, make sure you get the water in, all that good stuff. But it's great to see some amazing creators that love Apex Legends, much like we do. But, you know, the crowd has been absolutely ridiculous. The noise has been absolutely ridiculous. And now as we look at the lobby and we look at the faces of the players on your screen, almost half of them are one game away from $600,000. It's a $2 million tournament. They are so close to being champions.
You could almost tell a story from every single person on this screen. The different emotions. I saw a few laughs. I'm seeing lots of twitches and lots of nerves, and for good reason. 9 teams on match point, and we're into match 9. It's World's Edge. Will it be settled here, or will we keep going?
Will 9 be the lucky number for someone, for one team, maybe even for one player? Well, let's start our journey once more. Enter Force 36. One of the teams who aren't on match point, which is becoming a little bit of a rarer breed the more that the games go on.
So many teams who have found success throughout this tournament, that have had winning games, that have had massive point games, are still not on match point, and that's why it is so difficult to try and suggest who is going to win this one, because there is still plenty who could spoil the party, or if you're a lover of Apex, maybe just keep that party going.
Fnatic all the way down at Thermal Station. They do have a ring console, and why am I mentioning that? Because we need to tell you where we are going.
Goodness.
This zone, good luck. If you get those rocks outside of Overlook, you're in a very, very strong position.
Well, VK Gaming have ring console at Overlook and have the first opportunity to get to said rocks and get to one of the best positions that is available for where we think this final circle might be heading. And remember, if VK Gaming were to find a victory here, they would become champions. They are one of our 9 match point teams.
What an incredible story that would be. Absolutely incredible. But we'll have to see if that is going to be how the story ends. Elsewhere, just looking across at some of our other teams as we check in with VK. Go next to making their move through Geyser at the moment. Liquid Alienware, a long way to go for them from Dome. Been a quiet day for TSM, checking in some of the other match point teams now. Team Falcons, they do have a ring console over at Lava Fissure, so they know where we're going to go. It's one of those zones where I feel like if you get ring console, you're pretty secure on where this is going to be going. However, World's Edge does like to throw up surprises sometimes with that Zone 3-4 pull.
TSM have knocked him right around the corner here, and Verhost is charging up Sheila, and he's almost inviting them to push.
That's enough, just walking at him. Sheila not so effective, but now it is. Now there's 2. And with the 3rd player in front of him, Zappel swing, TSM back on form as they swipe away the advantage of Noctum.
TSM, another team, of course, who could get a victory here to keep us going into match 10, but still a long old journey all the way down from tree and launch site, which they find themselves in between at the moment. Liquid Alienware weren't so far away, but they did not opt to third party that one. They couldn't close that gap in time. ExoClan also 16th position, also on 33 points, needs 17 more to get to that match point threshold. They've got a little bit of a way to go through from landslide at the moment, but an actual clean journey. I'm looking at where everyone else is right now, and Exo are able to get ahead of a lot of teams. They should be able to get into Fragment pretty much unseen.
Go next to wrapped all the way to the back of Overlook themselves. You can see that on your screen. Trying to do a little bit of scouting up on this top platform. VK Gaming is going to be the team that's nearest to them. Now, you've got to be careful. We always talk about prio, right? We always talk about getting a good position, being the team who's essentially has the pick of the litter when it comes to spots you want to play. But it also means your awareness has to be heightened. You have to be able to watch 360 around you. If you can play your back to zone, obviously that helps a little bit. That's a care package that's going to drop your way. Now, what's in the goodie bag? Gold Nemi, a brick as well, which means that one of them will have purple.
Never complain at a gold Nemi. The perfect addition to your arsenal. Now, Shopify Rebellion. Oh, MT! There's a lot of damage being taken. Monsoon, the one who got the knock in the end, but the bubble does come down, and now they'll get the res.
Complexity are thinking about pushing this. Again, you can just see they know it. You know, it doesn't really matter if they kill someone or not. It's just about survival. It's about being the last team standing. It's so interesting to see how the game completely changes once it's not all about points. Zainu's going to be taken down this time with the charge rifle, and you have to wonder if he's going to be able to get back to his team here. Shopify Rebellion could be in real trouble.
Sometimes it's about weighing up the differences between getting the kills, trying to get a little bit of extra on the Evo, or just repositioning so you can get to that late game. But Complexity trying their best to finish off the remaining players for Shopify Rebellion, and now they are starting to go towards it.
Oh my word. By the way, Furia have managed to take down one member of Alliance. That's Effect, who's not just going to be down, he's going to be finished off as well. And Shopify Rebellion, one of our teams who's on match point, will not be able to win it here.
That is insane to see them eliminated this early on, but it was just the fact that they couldn't cross. And once they'd taken that amount of damage, Complexity knew the opportunity was too good to pass up. And now they will return to where they were previously residing. They might be comfortable here for a short while. Get the wall down, start to build a base, and Monsoon can go to work with that charge rifle to keep people at bay.
One thing we haven't mentioned, by the way, is Luminosity Gaming. It kind of alluded to the fact they snuck into match point, 51 points on the board. Well, they are in a really good spot in the truck that's inside of Overlook, just to the north of the majority of the buildings. You know what I'm talking about if you've played some Apex Legends. Difficult spot to hold for the long game, but ahead of a lot of the traffic that's going to be arriving. One team who's nowhere near Overlook right now is our second place team, match point eligible as well, which is Team Falcons. They're still over at Lava Siphon.
And Falcons may have found a victory in that previous game if it wasn't for LG, who dropped from height where maybe Falcons didn't expect it, and it created a lot of commotion.
Wait a minute.
Zero's just taking some damage here, and it's Team Burger who just caught him as they were rotating, but it's not going to do any damage. Falcons were ready to jump on them if they needed it.
Back to our map overhead then, you can see as the zone is about to close where that shift is about to happen if you're about to get beacon information. And as it does close, we are indeed going exactly where we thought we were going. For a little bit of bated breath there, I was like, is it going to be where I think it is? And yes.
Actually, they just shifted down to no name.
Yeah, I think it's one of the easier zone reads. You can see a lot of the teams read that off of zone 1.
Falcons, by the way, are going to be behind Liquid Alienware here, and maybe thinking their rotation might be a clean one. And there you go, there's that information. They finally see the bubble in front of them. And now it's about, do you continue on this path or do you double back? Of course, you have the ability to hit the ring console here, which is probably why Falcons wanted to head this way. So they won't be immediately concerned. Get the bubble down, get the scan, and then start thinking about your pathing.
Zero says, Waltzy, get your ass over here, hit this console, and then we can think about what's next. Step 1 first. And up to purple go Team Falcons. Also get that zone information, of course, which is going to be one of the main contributing reasons for their pathing over towards Big Maud. As we now check in with Alliance, who came so close, not just once, but twice.
And that's definitely going to take a toll. Just to think, will we be presented with those kind of opportunities again? But one good thing for Alliance,
third time's a charm.
Third time is a charm, and they are still in first place on 87 points. So whatever happens here, they are still in a lot of money. Even if they weren't to win the whole thing, second place is pretty much secured if it were to end in this game via someone else.
You can tell them that if they don't close out here and they get second place.
It's fine, at least you won loads of money, guys.
Wait, what are you sad for? TSM though? Oh my.
Wow. Talk about fights.
And I tell you what, I just want to say, by the way, TSM were in a perfect... it's Hal! Of all people! It's Hal that goes down! Verholst on his old teammate. And it's Verholst single-handedly about to break Falcons' hearts. z-o-o-m's going to get the bubble down. TSM won this.
Reps in hot pursuit.
Oh, I think z-o-o's got away.
But z-o-o has managed to turn the corner.
Wait a minute. Woo.
Still life in Falcons just yet. But for TSM, closing in on that match point threshold.
I think Falcons were actually saved by a couple of stray triple take bullets that went towards TSM from Fragment that just made them aware that there was someone in the vicinity. Does he have any heals here?
One med pack, I think. I think he's just used all of his syringes. Is a crafter though.
But you got to craft the banner. You've got to craft the Moby. Banners, there's a Phoenix. As if there's a Phoenix just sat right there. GG down to 2. And it's down to Unlucky with that triple take who gets to finish onto Blast as well. That's going to be Alliance maybe looking to play for this Mythic bin.
Gaming Gladiators in last position at the moment. Still with one remaining player. Might be able to get away and attempt a miracle run. But Alliance will happily hold down below here. And the Mythic bin has just spawned very close indeed, and that could be a game changer. And the bubble does go down, and Alliance are going to get this Mythic bin. Just making sure GG don't drop down on them. What are your rewards?
Well, first of all, it's going to be Red Evo. And it's going to be a bow check. Now, Hackis with a bow check. Something scratches the brain and the memory of game-winning, or certainly great moments from that man.
And we call him Legolas sometimes. We haven't seen that many Bocek kills throughout this tournament, but we might be about to see plenty more in the hands of Hackis as Furia will take this zip over towards zone. They should be able to create some sort of cover up here, so they're going to be fine.
Furia on match point, of course. z-o-o. Has saved Falcons. The res is going to come in. Now it is in zone, and zone is going to start to hurt a little bit. And remember that even though Falcons are going to be respawning, the attachments, the meds, they're going to be extremely low. So Falcons are going to have to look for a third party.
And also Fnatic running away from being shot right now, but running towards where Falcons have just respawned. They have spotted z-o-o. Elsewhere, Alliance have Team Burger above them, but they should be able to skirt around with their newly acquired Bocek. Fnatic have left that fight, by the way, in Fragment, and they will not be fighting Falcons, so those watching with bated breath, Falcons are okay for now.
I wonder if Falcons are going to actually take the evac that was left by Fnatic.
I think they are. Well, they should.
And yes, indeed, that's exactly what they're doing. Hackis now with this Bocek. Team Burger trying to pressure them on the icicles.
Oh.
Epicenter! Imperial How at the moment. He can't get away with anything. He's going to be finished, and Falcons are back to 2.
Back to 2, and it's an Alliance on full red Evos that are above them. We might just see the demise of Falcons yet again in front of us here.
So busy this side of zone.
Oh no.
Alti pulls out. Sheila doesn't get to pull the trigger because Wei spots him out, and z-o-o is thinking, it's all up to me again.
All that hard work for nothing. By the way, this zone, when we do see it, LG bang center of it. Worth noting. Now Go Next will be pushing up. It's VKG, who did drop over towards Overlook as well.
Gaming Gladiators have been eliminated in the meantime. Go Next Esports, who have fought their way onto match point as well. They are safe inside this next zone, but they're going to have to give up the bottom floor. And there's the awkwardness of the angles that are available to them, with the window that kind of just allows a few teams to poke some bullets in. A couple of grenades can fly through there. As we now turn our attention back to Alliance. Now, I mentioned this side of the zone is very busy. You have Team Burger. z-o-o still alive, by the way. You have Furia and Aurora, who are all going to have to move forward and take this fight. But this is Fnatic versus TSM. Malstera and Juka trying to even up the money, but it's not going to happen. TSM will eliminate Fnatic, but can they get the res? There's shots coming in from a distance. And TSM look like they might have to play the next few moments as a 2.
Alliance wanted to go uphill here, but not able to do so. have to go back on themselves. A Kraber for Hackers, though, that could be the turnaround they need.
Kiss threading the needle from a Bocek to a Kraber. Cycling through the power weapons of Apex Legends as Furia. Trying to finish off TSM.